be reacting to what Michael Thomas got, in my opinion. The Falcons should have set the bar and paid Julio. So then you're not having to copycat or duplicate what somebody else did because the number is going to be higher than Michael Thomas. Shout out to ABM in the building. Thank you for tuning in. So I was hoping that the Falcons were going to set the bar and they weren't going to be reacting, but they were going to be proactive with this whole thing. But obviously they're not. So they're going to have to figure out what the number is. And whatever that number is, you're going to pay the guy. So it's just a matter of how much and what that number is going to be. But the guy's going to get paid. All right, so we've been talking about Melvin. And also, let me back up. Michael Thomas becomes the highest paid receiver in NFL history and the first non-quarterback offensive player to sign a $100 million contract. That's crazy. Making history. Shout out to Mr. Harper, my man Marcus Harper in the building. Thank you for tuning in. Mo says, I disagree, BS3. In conference, rival blank didn't want to be outdone. He wanted to be the outdoer. Yeah. And I get what you're saying there. But if it was just me, I would make the trend. I would make the trend and follow the trend or figure out what I'm going to do. But I kind of get what you're saying. Because if you pay Julio a certain amount and then Michael Thomas got more, then you would be in a weird situation. Raider Kev says, Wednesday was a great day in our household. Mike Thomas returns to camp and the Astros win baseball free agency, which we'll be talking about that in a minute. So what does Julio get, 22 a year? Probably. If Michael Thomas got what he got, which is 20, then you got to give Julio 22 or 20.5 or 21.5. Like we're playing The Price is Right. You're going to have to give him above 20. We'll just leave it at that. Whatever they decide is whatever that ends up. Melvin Gordon's agent request Chargers trade Melvin Gordon. And then the story came out that that's not a true story and that they did not request a trade. I'm pretty sure he requested a trade. And it's funny, even Bleacher Report has forgotten where the Chargers are located. Because at first it said SD, San Diego, did not hear about a requested trade from Melvin Gordon. And then it said LA, and they had to correct it and change it. So Bleacher Report still doesn't know where this team is located. It's true when the Chargers denied the request. What are they going to do? And I've said this. I like Melvin Gordon. I think he's a good player. But to me, he does not equal Zeke. He does not, which he has said, or his agent or somebody has said, that he is equal to Zeke. He is not that. He is good. I would say like a second tier, though. I'm not going to put him in the top tier station. I'm not going to do that. I know there's people that disagree. I think he's good. I think he has had some injury years. And obviously you want to see your star running back on the field. You don't want to see him getting injured. You don't want to see him not playing games. You don't want to see him playing a full season. And if your own quarterback says, we're deep at running back, that's a horrible look for you. That's a horrible look. If your quarterback sounds like he doesn't even want you there, he's okay with you not being there. You're not going to hear Dak say that. You're not going to hear Dak say, well, we don't really need Zeke. Our running back stable is pretty deep, because it's not. Melvin Gordon equals Zeke on suspension, which means nothing. I'm assuming that's what Zeke on suspension means, equals nothing, because he's not bringing anything. But we'll see what happens with Melvin Gordon. I think he's going to get his money with the Chargers, in my opinion. So the Cowboys, who have been in the news like we are always in the news, are planning to keep Zeke, Dak, and Amari together, but, let me put this but in, but not by handing them record-setting contracts. This is what Stephen Jones has said, quote, "We've got 3 really good football players that we're dealing with here and that have very good representation and that they want to see the market." And he has already said that they are not wanting to be a trendsetter. They're not wanting to be the trendsetter, which, like I just said about Julio, that's what you should be. But they don't want to pay these guys record deals. They all seem like they don't want to take the hometown discount. Amari Cooper, there was a statement that came out from him today, I believe talking about he's not, Cooper's focused on playing on the contract. And that makes sense. Amari Cooper is due for an extension, but Sid's mind is on getting better. And that's what I was expecting from Amari Cooper. Zeke, which he's still holding out. He is the best running back in the league, though. So anything that he requests, I think he should get. But it's a year too early. Still technically have 2 years. You have this year which you're under contract. You have next year was the team's option, and they already picked up that option. So I understand where Zeke's coming from because you want a long-term deal. You don't want to go into the season if something happens, what are you going to do from there? So I 100% get what he's saying. Mochi says Dallas and NY making it easy for Philly fans. Yeah, but I will forget Philly. It's going to be rivalry games regardless. But Philly can get all excited all they want. But when it comes down to this holding out situation, Jerry Jones and the Cowboys seem like they are ready to play hardball, that they're playing hard right now. No deadline for Zeke deal even months into the season, and they're not worried about it. Even though, deep down in their hearts, they are worried. Because they know what Zeke brings to this field. They know that the people they have on the staff do not equal to Zeke. Alfred Morris is below average now at this point in his career. You do have a rookie in Tony Pollard, which they have been hyping up some way, but you don't know what he's going to do. You got Joe Weber. You don't know what he's going to do either. So they do need Zeke, but they're playing hardball. And I don't know how far they're willing to go into this. I hope Zeke holds out till week 8, says Jay Fish. I bet you do. I bet you do hope he sits out till week. Jerry talking straight cash. Steven talking even more. And between these two, Steven is more so the harder guy when it comes to the contracts. Jerry's normally the guy that gives in. But Jerry seems to be on board with Steven the way this has been going so far. But there is a contract extension that Zeke wants. And there was an offer that was given, and obviously Zeke turned it down. His response was going to Cabo, which he's working out. I think he is going to be in shape. I do believe he will play at some point in time this season. I don't know when. I don't know how it's all going to work. But I believe he will play for the Dallas Cowboys this year. Think about how much money you're going to lose, and you're still under contract next year. And the Le'Veon Bell holding out situation. He did exactly what he said he was going to do. But how much did that truly benefit Le'Veon Bell money-wise? His body-wise, that definitely helped him because he got a rest. But money-wise, I don't think he truly got what he wanted. So I'm interested to see how this is going to go. Life as an Eagles fan, Mo. Got a jersey for you when you're ready. I agree with Orenthal James. You don't get these backs into camp and with the team, this is going to be certainly lead to injuries. And you got a good point. And I'm interested to see what Le'Veon Bell is going to look like going into the season with game shape, game contact, all of that. But Zeke has an argument, but I still think it's a year too early. But I'm saying both sides. When was the last time Zeke was not in trouble during an offseason? I think it was one offseason. And we hear the response that we hear is that he's going to be better this time. He's not going to have any issues. This one he got out of this one. I was very surprised that he didn't get suspended with this latest incident, but he didn't. So we'll see what happens. I'm definitely going to continue to talk about it as soon as I hear more information. But nothing has gone down as of yet. So they have the top 100 players. And Fish, you're right. Yeah, the security guard did flop. I know. I definitely know that. But I do know Goodell does whatever Goodell wants. So I didn't think he should have got suspended for that. But Roger Goodell, on the other hand, was suspended for stepping on an ant and may suspend for other stuff. So I definitely agree with you there. It was a flop. It was the lightest forearm shiver that I've ever seen in my life. And the dude basically collapsed on the barricade. So I'm definitely with you there. 100% there. So we had the top 100 players that were ranked. I believe that was on NFL Network. And there was one particular player that was not in the top 100. One particular player not in the top 100. And that player was none other than Dak Prescott. And also he was ranked by coaches as a third-tier quarterback. Now that hurt me a little bit. That hurt just a tad bit. My heart was feeling that. So I got to ask the chat room. I got to ask the people listening, is Dak a top 100 player? In my opinion, yes, he is. There was a lot of other Cowboys on that list, but I think he's a top 100 player. Is he a top-tier quarterback in the first tier? I would say no. I would put him in the second tier of quarterbacks. So I want to get you guys' thoughts on that. That top 100 seemed to have had a lot of people upset, some people confused. Security guard with 140, Zeneca runs people over. Maybe a flop, but closer to a foul, maybe. I would have got punched. I would have got Zeke to punch me, says Fish. And that probably would have been a good move for him. Because then you have proof that you were hurt or that you were hit. And furthermore, if you would have been able to have some type of scratch mark or some type of black eye, that would have also helped you. But he had neither one of those. And the guy left there saying that he wasn't hurt. So it was truly a fake news type story. But you can never estimate what Roger Goodell is going to do when it comes to these issues with the NFL.